think when I finally decided to share it, like online, that's when I felt like, shit, I have to actually do something with this. Because again, I didn't know what it was. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to throw it out there and I'm just going to channel and see what happens. And suddenly people were reacting to it, mostly in a very positive way, like sharing about how they could feel, that 1 minute transmission, how it brought them peace, how it brought them chills, how it reminded them, like it sounded familiar to them, even though they'd never heard of it before. And so for me, it was like, I needed that validation. I needed people to see me so that I could find that courage and bravery to put myself out there to share more of it. And so that's when I, as I reached more people with it, it became clear that, okay, there's a lot of questions. People obviously don't understand this energy. There's a lot of people who have worked with dragons, like as their spiritual team, but really don't know how to work with the energy or don't really understand it. And because I've worked with it for several years now, it's like my turn, my mission, my responsibility. I feel like it's more of a responsibility than anything to be able to share with people what this energy is and how to work with it.
So like in practice, kind of go through, like if somebody's like listening to this and they're like, yeah, I'll hop on our website. I want to have a session with you or whatever, or however you do it. Can you kind of explain that? Like what does that look like? Like what is it in practice?
Yeah, it's a lot of sound. The dragons don't really speak English. They do, but I always tell people, I feel like it's being translated by the archangels. It's not a direct, dragons speaking English, because the dragons I work with, they don't speak English. It's sound and frequency. So mostly it is light language, like dragon light language that I'm speaking to the client. And then we do a sound healing where I bring in the archangels and we do the singing bowls and the frequencies of the angels come through. And then in the end, the dragons come through with the angels and share messages for the client. And then at the very end, I share with them what was shown to me and answer any questions that the client has.
That's awesome. Rudolf Steiner made a quote, which I love. He said that we're angels in training. What do you, because you just brought up archangels. So this is like, now we got archangels and we got dragons, So how are the angels, like, how are they popping into all?
So I worked with the archangels before I worked with the dragons. Yeah. So I feel like archangels are so much easier to work with because I don't want to use the word relatable, but I can speak to them like a friend, like they're like a partner in my life. Whereas dragons, I'll speak to them in English, but they have a very different energy. And I feel like these conversations that I'm having with them in English just aren't as effective versus me just speaking my light language to them with the intention of what it is that I want answered. It sounds really weird and bizarre, but it's like I have to speak light language to the dragons in order to get my...
Is it because for them they're ancient and such high, such high vibration or higher densities of levels or something? That where like angels are they lower?
No.
Like are angels lower?
I mean, they're all, different dimensions, but there's no right. I wouldn't say it's that. I feel like it's just a different way of working with dragons. And you'll meet other dragon channels. I don't know if they call themselves dragon channels, but other people who work with dragons who are fine speaking English to their team. But for me, the way that I work with my team, it's very different. I have to speak light language to them.
Do you feel like it's because of the throat chakra?
Oh, I'm sure it has a huge part to do with that. And for me to continue to trust, this unique gift that, because I feel like spirit needs me to fully trust the gifts that I have and to fully own it. And that means not making it super easy for me by speaking English, like.
Yeah, no, I get that 100%. And if you have to describe this,